She walked into the restaurant like any other customer, dressed in plain clothes, her eyes scanning the room with curiosity. No one knew that the woman savoring the aroma of freshly baked bread and sizzling dishes was actually the CEO, the woman who owned this very restaurant. Undercover, she wanted to see what her staff really thought of her place and how customers experienced it firsthand. The tables were filled with chatter, the clinking of silverware, and the warm hum of a busy evening, but she stayed unnoticed, quietly observing. As she moved through the dining area, she noticed the staff hustling, smiles forced in some corners, and small frustrations tucked behind polite nods. She had expected compliments, maybe even a few complaints, but nothing could have prepared her for the moment that changed everything. The janitor, quietly sweeping near the entrance, looked up and said 3 words that froze her in place. 3 simple words, yet they carried a weight that made her stomach twist and her heart skip a beat. Suddenly, the bustling energy of the restaurant seemed to fade, replaced by a tense silence in her mind. Who knew the janitor had noticed her? And more importantly, what could he possibly say that would stop her in her tracks like this? She tried to steady her nerves, but the curiosity mixed with fear gnawed at her. The answer to those 3 words could change everything about how she viewed her restaurant, her staff, and even herself. What could the janitor possibly have said to make the CEO pause mid-step? The secret he revealed was about to turn her evening and her life upside down. The 3 words echoed in her mind as she tried to focus on the room around her, but it was impossible. The janitor, a quiet man named Leo, had always been in the background, moving through the restaurant almost invisibly. He never complained, never drew attention to himself, and yet somehow, he always seemed to notice everything. He had been working there for years, cleaning floors, wiping tables, and observing the ebb and flow of the business with a kind of patient wisdom. She had thought she knew her staff, the cooks, the servers, even the managers, but Leo had always been a mystery. There was something different about him, something that made her uneasy and intrigued at the same time. He seemed ordinary, but the weight behind his words suggested he wasn't. How could someone in his position see what she hadn't? Or maybe he wasn't just seeing. Maybe he had known things about the restaurant, about her leadership, even about her, that no one else had dared to speak aloud. Her mind raced, replaying the brief moment she had heard him speak, the confidence in his voice, the calm in his eyes. It wasn't disrespectful, but it was undeniable. He wasn't just speaking to her as the owner. He was speaking to her as a person, as someone who mattered beyond the role she played in the restaurant. The air around her seemed heavier now, charged with a tension that made every step feel uncertain. She wanted to move forward, to ask questions, to uncover the truth behind those 3 words, but something told her that whatever Leo had noticed could change everything she thought she knew. And in that moment, she realized that tonight was about more than just checking on her restaurant. She stayed rooted near the entrance, pretending to study the menu on the table while her mind raced. Every small detail in the restaurant now seemed magnified: the way a server hesitated before taking an order, the way the line cook's hands shook as he flipped a pan, the quiet glances exchanged between staff. She realized the 3 words Leo had said weren't just about her. They hinted at something deeper, something brewing under the surface that she hadn't noticed while managing from her office across the room. She saw the sous chef whispering to one of the waiters, their conversation hurried and careful, as if they were sharing a secret. The manager, normally calm and collected, walked past Leo and the other staff with a slight frown, eyes darting toward the entrance, clearly unsettled by something. The CEO, hidden in plain sight, began piecing together a web of relationships, tensions, and unspoken truths she had never understood. Leo, meanwhile, continued his work quietly, yet his presence felt heavy, almost like a spotlight on everyone's hidden actions. There was a sense that he knew more than anyone should, that the 3 words weren't just a passing comment, they were a warning, a revelation, or maybe even a challenge. The CEO felt a mix of fear and intrigue. She wanted to confront him, to uncover what he meant, but the moment felt charged with too much uncertainty. As she observed, she realized this night was no ordinary check-in. Hidden conflicts, personal grudges, and secret alliances were threading through the staff. And she, the owner, had been blind to them. Leo's words had cracked the surface of a reality she hadn't prepared for, and now she had to decide: would she step forward and face whatever truth he revealed, or stay hidden and risk losing control of everything she had built? She took a cautious step toward the counter, her eyes never leaving Leo. The hum of the restaurant felt different now, louder, sharper, as if every sound carried a secret. Customers laughed and chatted, oblivious to the tension weaving through the staff. But she could see the subtle shifts in their movements. The waiters were on edge, glancing toward Leo, toward her, unsure of what was about to happen. Every clatter of dishes, every ringing bell of the kitchen, it seemed amplified in the quiet storm building in her mind. Leo paused mid-sweep and looked up at her again, his gaze calm but penetrating, almost like he could see through her disguise, through the CEO persona she had worn for years. She felt a chill run down her spine. The 3 words he had spoken were more than a statement. They were the key to something she hadn't anticipated. She tried to guess their meaning, her imagination running wild, but every possibility seemed both plausible and terrifying. In the kitchen, the sous chef knocked over a tray, the sound echoing like a gunshot. The servers stiffened, and the manager's face tightened, betraying worry. Leo moved slowly toward the exit, pausing just long enough for the CEO to wonder if he was about to confront her, or reveal a secret that could shatter everything she thought she knew about her restaurant. Her heart pounded, the line between fear and curiosity blurring. She knew she had to hear the next words, but a part of her hesitated, unsure if she was ready for the truth. And in that heartbeat, as the staff held their breath and the restaurant seemed to freeze, the tension reached a breaking point. The moment of revelation was so close, yet just out of reach. And she realized that whatever Leo was about to say would change everything forever. Just as she took a deep breath, preparing herself for whatever Leo was about to say, the restaurant doors swung open. A delivery man appeared, carrying a large crate. But it wasn't the arrival that caught her attention, it was the look on the manager's face. Panic flashed in his eyes, brief but unmistakable, and he glanced quickly at Leo before muttering something under his breath. The CEO's heart raced. Something was unfolding that she hadn't anticipated. Leo didn't move toward the exit this time. Instead, he stopped, resting the broom against the wall, and pointed subtly toward the crate. She realized it wasn't just a deliver, it was a message. The box contained papers, receipts, and what looked like internal documents. Her mind spun as she tried to piece it together. Could someone on her own staff be hiding something from her? Was the restaurant facing a threat she hadn't even seen coming? The whispers among the staff grew louder. Small glances exchanged with barely concealed fear. The sous chef looked ready to bolt. The waiters froze mid-step, and the manager's hand trembled as he reached for the crate. Leo's 3 words now echoed even louder in her mind, their weight magnified by this new development. Whatever he had hinted at before, this crate confirmed it. There was a secret, a hidden conflict, and she was right in the middle of it. Every instinct told her to act, to step forward and demand answers. But the uncertainty was paralyzing. The tension in the restaurant had reached a new level. The staff's hidden alliances, unspoken grudges, and secret dealings were about to collide. And she realized that the night she had thought would be a simple, undercover visit was about to spiral into chaos. Whatever was inside that crate, whatever Leo knew, could change everything she had built, and she had no idea who she could trust. The CEO stepped closer to the crate, her pulse hammering in her ears. Leo watched her silently, his calm presence a stark contrast to the tension radiating from everyone else. With a steady hand, she opened the box, revealing invoices, employee notes, and a series of reports showing that someone had been secretly siphoning funds from the restaurant. Her stomach dropped. The betrayal was real, and it came from the manager she had trusted most. Before she could react, Leo spoke again, his voice low but clear. I tried to stop it. Those 3 words now made sense. He had noticed the theft long before anyone else. The staff around her shifted uneasily, some lowering their heads, some exchanging guilty glances. The truth was out, and the CEO felt a mix of relief and fury. She confronted the manager, who tried to deny it, but the evidence and Leo's quiet courage left no room for excuses. The staff watched, stunned, as their hidden dynamics were suddenly exposed. And the CEO realized that the restaurant needed not just leadership, but honesty and trust to survive. Just when she thought the worst was over, a server stepped forward hesitantly, holding another envelope. Inside were photos showing the manager had an accomplice she never suspected, a former chef who had left months ago but still had access to the accounts. Her mind raced. The betrayal ran deeper than she imagined. Leo glanced at her knowingly, almost as if to say, I warned you.